All right, Math 100 students, assignment 10. The classwork is page 395, 396, 21 through 48 even, so it's not a lot of problems. And then I have one more. Okay, so this set, let me turn to page 395. I know you have your textbook as well. I like to just make sure 395 number 22. So that said it says perform the operation, simplify answers if possible, assume that no denominators are zeros. Okay, so that's fairly easy. All right, so it's just about keeping your denominators. Remember, if you have a set up a fraction, and I usually like mine vertical, okay, but the key to it is you keep your denominator the same and you just add or subtract the top. Okay, so 3 plus 3 is 6. And then help me reduce it by 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. And the y is already at the bottom. So you leave it. That's it. Just help me reduce it. That's it. All right. So common denominator. Leave the denominator alone. Okay. It's the same thing for 24. I'm going to leave 7x is my common denominator. And I just need to add up the top. Okay, 8 plus 6 is 14y, not 14y squared. Only if you see a multiplication dot would you be trying to add exponents, but just a plain plus or a minus sign, no, you just leave it alone. Okay, 7 will go into 14 how many times? 2. So the y was already at the top, the x was already at the bottom, so you're just going to leave it. I just simplified. Okay, for 26, I'm going to leave my denominator just like it is. And I'm going to add the top. Same sign. I'm going to combining like terms. 2x plus 3x is 5x. 3 minus 1 is positive 2 in your calculator. That's it. Leave it just like that. That is your answer. Leave it alone. 28, my common denominator, x plus 3. Like terms, 8x plus 2x is 10x. Negative 7 plus 37 in your calculator is positive 30. Okay, right here, I couldn't factor anything out. But here, 10 are going to both of these. So think about it like this. I'm factoring out, trying to simplify as much as I can. I'm thinking about the factor tree. 10, I need 10x. I'm missing the x. And 10 times what will give me 30? 3 will. All right. So you've cleaned this up. You factored it out. All right. I'm just cleaning it up step by step. That will cancel. So that means your answer should just be plain 10. Plain 10. That's only if you can factor it out. This cannot be factored. You do the factor tree, there's nothing in common. You can't factor it out. Okay. Number 30, I wrote it vertically just in case you like to see it vertically. Okay, I keep the denominator alike. 5 minus 11 is what? Negative what? 6. All right, because the minus sign is down here near the 11. You put 5 minus 11 in the calculator, it's going to give you a negative 6. Help me reduce that by 6. All right, so we know there's going to be a negative out in front. 6 goes into 6 one time. 6 goes into 48 8 times. The answer is negative 1 over 8. That's it. Okay. Let's look at 32. My common denominator is x. Leave that alone. 9 minus 5 is 4y. That's it. 4y over x. Okay, I knew y'all will enjoy these. The denominator is 5x. Okay. 6x minus 3x is 3x. And I have nothing to do with the positive 3 but to keep it here. Now, if you want to factor that out, you can and clean up that 3x plus 3. Okay. So here, that will be x plus what? 3 times what? It give me 3. 1. All over 5x. And they'll always clean it up. This is what they call simplified in the book. They probably won't leave it as 3x plus 3 in the book. They will simplify it. But you just leave it alone. This is good. Okay. For 36. Denominator is perfect. Just leave it alone. Okay. Here, the negative goes to the 2x and the negative goes to the 7. Okay. All the rest of them were positives. See, they were all positives. Okay. All of them were positives. Okay, this one we just subtracted. Now, so this negative goes to this x and it goes to this one. And it goes to both. It's like doing the distributive property. This is a -1. If you multiply -1 times 2x, you get -2x. Negative time a positive is a negative. So this negative in the middle is going to change all of your signs. Okay, it's going to change. -1 is like multiplying by -1. Okay, so 7 minus 2x is 5x. 7 minus 7 is 0. So you will have 5x over 5y. And yes, you can cancel that out. So you have x over y as your answer. Turning the page. Okay, still doing the same thing. Denominator, x plus 5, leave it alone. If it's negative in the middle, it's just like doing distributive property. Taking that -1, multiplying it all the way through. -1 times 3x in your calculator, -3x. -1 times -2 in your calculator, +2. A negative times a negative is a positive. And it only occurs if the minus sign is in the middle. Okay, so here, 5 minus 3 is 2x. 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay, can you help me factor this top out? Yes. 2, open up the parentheses. We talking about factor tree. What do they have in common? A 2. So that'll give me x plus what? 5. Good. And keep your denominator. Cancel. And my answer that I have left is 2. All right. The same thing here. This right here is like having a -1. Just like we do the 4 method, taking a rainbow, multiplying each one by negative. -1 times x, you know, this is a silent 1 already, so that's -1x. -1 times 2 is -2. All right, the negative, you have to multiply by -1 to everything, not just one term. Every term has to be multiplied. So I leave my common denominator alone. All right, x minus 3. Okay, 2x minus 1x is just 1x. You put the 1 in front. -1 minus 2 is -3. Okay? Now, what can we do with that? If that cancels out, then what happens? It's just a 1. It canceled out. Okay? It leaves me with nothing. It leaves me with 1. Okay? For 42. Okay? Leave my denominator alone. And I'm just going to add up the top. 13 plus 13 is 26. 26, take 10 away, is 16. So that's 16y. Don't add up the y's. Okay? Help me reduce this. 16 will go into 16 one time. Leave the y alone. 16 will go into 32. How many times? 2. So you may see y over 2 in the book. But if you put 1 over 2, I know exactly what you're trying to tell me. The same thing for 44. Okay? Only difference is I see a negative sign. So I'm changing all my signs here. I'm multiplying by -1. So this is -1y. We're just doing distributive property. And negative times a negative is a positive. So that's +3. So you just got to clean this up. Okay? Clean that up. Okay? So 2y minus 1. So 2 take 1 away is 1y. And 1 plus 3 is 4y. Okay, now help me with the numbers. -3 plus 3 is 0. The only thing I got left over is a +6. That's it. Okay, can I factor this out? Yes. Let's see. 2. Will 2 go into 4? And is that my factor tree? Yes, it is. So this will be 2y plus 3. Good. Over y plus 2. And that is your answer. Okay? That is your answer. Okay? The next one, a minus 1. Okay? I don't have to, nothing needs to be changed because there's nothing in here to change. It's already ready for me. Okay, this is a 1. So 7. So a, put the a's together. And then, all right, and then minus 10. 7 plus 1 is 8. A. So 8 minus 10 is -2a. Okay. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, can you factor this out? Of course you can. Okay, so just say you factored out the -2. Okay, factor out the -2. Okay, well actually they don't have a negative in common, do they? Okay, the negative just sticking out in front. So let me just factor out right now. Let me just factor out a 2. I'll put the negative in there in a minute. Okay, so here I need a plus 1. Okay, so I have 2a plus 1 over a minus 1, but the negative is still right here. The negative is still right there. All right, it's still there. It has not gone anywhere. Okay, so you can either leave your -2 here. Just leave it right there. I know exactly what to do with it. I know exactly what you're trying to tell me. Just leave it. Just throw the negative in front. Okay, and the last one, x minus y. Okay, so with this one, this is, let me clean this up. So this is moving here. So that will be -3xy. Okay, I don't want to, can I write 48 on this other page real quick if y'all don't mind? I just want to make sure you got plenty of room to see everything that I'm doing. I promise I won't get on your nerves after this is the last one, but I do want to make sure you see everything, and everything is in the video. All right. Okay. You see, okay. This is good. Okay, just make sure you see everything. Okay, so I leave the x minus y alone. Okay, and let me take my -1x all the way through here. So that'll be just -3xy. And then a negative times a negative is a positive. So that'll be x to the second power. I have 2 of them. Okay. And then this one, let me clean this up. This is like having a -1, taking it all the way through. So that'll be, because I cleaned this up already to this at the top. So a -1x. So this will be 1 times 1, which is negative. And x times x is x to the second power. And then this right here, a negative times a negative is a positive. And you have x and y. You have both of them. Okay, so let me clean it up now. 3xy minus xy is no xy's. Nothing. X squared minus x squared is no x squares. It's nothing. So what you got left over? This xy. That's your answer. Okay. All right. I hope this helps.